What's up, everyone, and welcome to the GSA Any Super Mario Odyssey tournament. Today, we will be having Okra Armband versus TiloTech, and I think this is our last round one race. So, last match of round one. After that, it's going to be round two. Insane matches coming up. And I have Tishel with me here once again. What's up, Tishel?
Hey, what's up, guys? How's it going? Long time no see.
Exactly. What's up, boys? And I also do have the racers in this voice call. Okra, coming to Okra first. Actually, you have been playing a lot of this game, at least during the last days. You have been completing actually two full all unique moons runs, which both are around 10 hours or more. So definitely been playing a lot, but not that much any percent recently, as far as I know.
Yeah, no, I practiced like a couple of Kingdoms any percent the past couple of weeks, but no, I don't. It's been a while since I've completed a full run actually, so this is gonna be interesting.
Yeah, both of the categories also, I mean, any percent is at a completely different optimization level. Obviously, there's way more optimized movement, way more insane tricks that these longer categories don't need to go for yet because they are still getting rerouted and stuff. But yeah. And Tyler, I think you've been running. I know I don't know how recently your 104 was, but I've watched you like your journey through the leaderboard quite a bit when you get like the 106 and then the 105, and now it's I think a 10. Is it a 104 even, or is it a 105?
Yeah, it's 104.59.
Yeah, so you got the 104.
It counts. It counts.
Yeah,
Definitely.
I got it. It was actually a 104.59.95. So
Oh my god.
I mean, that's still the 104 in my book. Did you actually do the new wooded route in this one?
No, I don't do the new wooded route.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
So I guess that's something to we can look for in the race. I'm pretty sure Okra usually does it, but it also means that Tilo still has a lot of PB potential in the future if he tries to go more into the any percent category.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Interesting. How do you feel about today's matchup in general, Tilo?
I don't know. I have a feeling I'm gonna lose, but
I have the same feeling.
Everyone feels they're gonna lose. It's pretty funny actually.
Okay, I can actually give you guys a spoiler. One of these people will actually win today.
Oh my god.
One of the
what? No way.
Bold statement.
one of their statements is actually wrong. We will see who will prevail, and I think we are good to go from our side. So you guys are free to leave the call, and you will be getting your countdown here.
All right.
Good
luck, Tilo.
We are off. Good luck, boys.
GG's.
Thanks. Good luck.
All right, Tishel. So, by the way, something that I forgot to ask, and I see we do have the Snow Kingdom background today here, looking pretty hot. But I don't know if actually Tilo does Snowdram. Do you know?
I actually never seen Tilo even play the game, like even 5 seconds of the game. So I'm actually pretty interested in seeing how he plays. I've seen Okra a bunch, so I know what strats he uses and whatnot. But Tilo is like completely new for me, so we'll see. It's gonna be fun.
Yeah, I don't think I've watched much of his runs. He's a name I'm aware of because I've seen him climb through the leaderboard, like already with the 104. Your name is usually known in the community because it's like a top 25 time or something.
Right.
But yeah, both of these runners super close. Their seeding is actually a bit further away than their PBs, but it might be one of the closest races in terms of PBs we had yet.
Yeah, I mean basically Okra is like 40 seconds ahead in terms of PB, but like he said, he hasn't been playing 90% lately. He grinded super hard for that low 104 like a month ago, and then he kind of stopped. He got burned out, I suppose, or real life problems. I don't really know, but yeah. So this race can actually be really close. And also another interesting thing is that Tilo, he doesn't do not clipping wooded, and Okra does do it. So that's gonna be interesting. We're gonna see the way it plays out.
That always adds like another dynamic to the game because obviously Okra can use this as a time save for him if it works out well. But recently, actually, we've seen a lot of people have problems with it in this race. Like, no one actually fell to the deep woods yet, I think. But I've seen a lot of people clip back in bounds after before the tank one actually. So that's obviously a huge loss.
Well, the good thing for Okra is that if he misses nut clip, at least he knows, he's not really losing that much time compared to Tilo because Tilo just doesn't even go for it. So that's something to look for. But yeah.
Both of them actually doing very similar things so far. Every strat was the same, doing a spin pipe at the start of this room. The vectoring almost looks identical, and they're pretty much about to hit this door at the same time.
Let's see left side.
Both going for different strats though. Triple jump at the same time.
Oh
Both
my
getting
god.
it. Wow, that looked actually
Oh
sick.
my god. This is sick. It's always so
Oh,
cool.
both of them got the 3 head bounces too. They're literally synced.
Wait, I wish wait, isn't it the same video twice? Are we sure?
I'm not sure.
Can we check, please? Can we check?
It's the same guy, I think.
It's the same guy. Oh wait, there's a heart. There's a heart on the other one.
Okay.
It's actually different.
We also do
That's
have
crazy.
obviously our live proof screen captures today, which help us to make sure this gameplay is actually live. You can type in !SMO proof to know about these. They will help us to provide a cheat-free experience.
So yeah, the moons are 2 in sand actually, one right after the other. Rumble room.
Hello, can you hear me, Tishville?
I can hear you.
Okay, you cut off there for me. Not sure if that was a problem on my end.
Oh.
But yeah, we do have Rumble Room Dune, and I think the last one is Wooded, right? The stretch mode with the uproot.
Ooh, okay. Tilo got FMS. Okra missed it. So Tylo's gonna pull ahead a bit.
Getting FMS first try and race is a big thing. I do think Okra gets it third try here, as Tilo actually falls down, so Okra can catch up already a bit.
Yeah, FMS, I mean, we already said it a million times. It's a trick that is way harder than it looks. It's super finicky. That rock, you know, the collision of the rock is really weird, and getting Cappy on the right spot is really hard. Ooh,
It really is.
that
Both
time.
actually,
Alright.
both actually, that might still work. Probably does, yeah.
Yeah, he
both
was so
actually were
far
very
away from the trampoline. That's scary.
It looked sketchy. Both actually had very similar problems so far. Okra also missing the second triple jump after FMS, Tilo as well. The only difference between them right now is pretty much Okra getting FMS third try instead of first, and this boss phase here.
Yeah, Okra just screwed up the fast strat for Manbro. Basically what runners do is they leave Cappy on the side, and when she throws the jump, you hit it once with Cappy, and then well, you jump on it to make it stop, and then you hit it with Cappy twice.
Yep. Did Madame Brutal warp for you there too at the end?
Did what?
Literally, as Okra hit
yeah.
the boss, she like warped to the side.
Yeah, it was weird.
But I mean, interesting. Probably doesn't do anything. So I am positively interesting capture there from Tilo, just making sure his multi-moon is acquired. maybe he was getting warmed up with the capture mechanic there.
I don't know if they do Moonclip in Cascade, actually. I have no idea. Like I said, I've never seen Tilo play, so...
I wouldn't assume so. Like, if you don't do the... I mean, obviously, the wooded one comes with more risks, but I would assume him to just get this moon.
Yeah, but at the same time, if you think about it, implementing this Moonclip first could serve as practice, because the timing is pretty similar to wooded, right?
Yeah, that's true.
So if you don't do moonclipping, you might consider just going for this one first.
To
because
warm up.
if you don't get, to warm it up. Like if you don't get it, you only lose like a second. Yeah, I never thought of that. That's actually a good idea, I think.
Interesting that Okra doesn't do it here because he uses the one in wooded. I mean, it's an additional strat you need to learn, I guess, this chest clip here. But I think once you know the mechanics of moon clipping, it's one of the easier ones. All you need to do is know how to time the inputs and which direction you hold, and it's a pretty straightforward trick, I think.
Yeah, if you know how to moonclip, like you just gotta practice the setup for the chest, basically where to stand, you know, where to look at, and that kind of stuff. The timing,
Exactly.
you already have it in your bones, basically.
Exactly.
So Tilo pulling a bit ahead in Cascade, but not by much. Still pretty close.
Tilo also getting the fast action guide there, which is something we haven't still found out how it actually works, but it feels like sometimes you skip this action guide just a little bit quicker.
Yeah.
And it does actually save way more than some small optimizations. For example, for Okra, the text didn't move there for a while, but Tilo's text immediately kept scrolling.
Yeah, it's really weird. Initially, we thought it had to do with even the OS version, like the version of the Switch operating system. We thought it was, you know, maybe physical or digital related. but we never really figured it out. It feels
Yeah.
super random. It saves like a second if you get it super fast. Maybe not even a second.
Tilo getting his first actual capture in the Rumble room here. So this is the
Nice.
first one he was supposed to get. Actually, the second one is about to come up immediately. After this one, once again, this is randomized, so it seems like, wow, these captures are really close, but this is randomized from a bigger pool, so
Right, Okra got it as well. Really nice. And
Tilo getting
Tilo got the
second.
second one. Nice. Yeah, there's no way they're gonna forget the second one. Like it's one after the
Yeah,
other.
it is true.
That's so simple. But yeah, the next one is gonna be in Wooded, so maybe by that time, and depending how the run goes, they can forget.
There's also a backup capture, Okra getting the second one here, that they can get in Seaside, so if they were to miss the one in Wooded, we can easily still notify them as they go. Tilo going
Right,
for
Tyler
Dram
doing
here.
drum, I think that's gonna work. That'll look fine.
Dives looked a bit slow, but it's still probably fine and gets the
Nice.
warp up.
Really clean so far, honestly.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
I feel sketchy things in Cascade, but other than that, like really good.
Tilo playing very well, and Okra actually catching up quite well too. He got FMS third try, but other than that, not a mistake, really.
Yep.
Oh, missing
Ooh.
Dram though, that's a bigger one.
So yeah, that's drum for you basically. Sometimes everything looks right. You grab the moon, you shake, and you don't capture the bullet bill. Like it's so finicky actually. Uh, I don't know. It's hard to sometimes it's hard to know what actually went wrong because you can't really see what's going on up there. So yeah,
The
losing.
important part is
Yeah.
that Okra kept the bullet bill alive, which if he dropped that, he would have actually lost a lot of time, but getting a quick climb there. And actually, Tyler's about to talk to the Sphinx. That's interesting.
Wow. What a crazy guy. He doesn't do Sphinx clip. He doesn't do nut clip, and he has a 104. Like
And
the
so he
good old
is on
times.
version 1.0, so because he did get the FMS trick, so we know that he could
FMS.
potentially clip into this room. But we might see how much Sphinx Clip can optimally save if Okra was to get it first try. Tyler just
Yeah.
playing it safe. He probably aims for consistency.
It's something we can ask after the race.
Third try
I
safe
honestly
is not so bad.
no, it was second try. It was second try or third try.
I think it was third. He
Oh,
broke down
third.
for
Okay.
twice. No bonks though. That's good.
Okay.
So Okra catching probably a bit up with this. He probably saves like 4 or 5 seconds still, even though he only got the third try.
Yeah, well, he missed drum, so I think
That's
they're
true.
gonna leave Sam at the same difference where they started actually, which is kind of
Probably.
funny. Ooh, Tyler almost misses the rock with that bullet, but that loses a lot of time because it also screws up with the burst cycle. Like after you leave the Sphinx room or the pipe, you don't want to make any mistake because you need to get to that cycle at the end of Sun.
I mean, it's even tighter if you do Tilo strat, because with double clip it's already tight. But if you just talk to the Sphinx, you need to go under the wall in the quicksand, get that moon, and then play pretty well, because you might just miss the bird at the end, and then you're forced to do nodes, which is way slower than grabbing the bird there, obviously.
I'm pretty sure the burst cycle resets on the pipe though, like when you exit through the pipe.
I don't think so,
Are you
because
sure? Okay.
because this it's not a sub room, it's not a load. The moon is just there. It's just the camera perspective changes. The bird cycle only gets refreshed once you leave the Sphinx room.
Huh. All right, I'm actually gonna check after this because I'm like 99% sure, but we'll see. Actually, it's been a long time since I
Yeah.
don't do Sphinx living runs, but yeah, maybe I'm remembering it
So the
wrong.
bird refreshes on sub rooms or like loads, but this room is on the same map as the Sand Kingdom. We
Right.
just entered through the quicksand. I mean, we know because we can clip into this room. It's on the same map. There's no load.
All right. No, yeah, makes sense. Makes sense. I can see that. All right, so Tilo's still ahead, not by much though. This race still pretty close, exciting.
Yep. We see the globe cutscene at the same time. This is always a sign that the race is very close.
And Tilo's about to get like a 47 sand exit, which is really good for not doing Sphinx Flip, honestly. Like it's really
Oh yeah, for
decent.
sure.
And Ogres might get like an 11, maybe 10:59.
Talking to the Sphinx is actually the slowest route you can go for, because you can instead just grab the bird early and do nodes later, which is faster. But the big advantage of talking to the Sphinx is you get those free coins there, and it's actually a lot. And you don't have to deal with the problem with the coins later in the run.
Right. So yeah, Lake Kingdom. Lake Kingdom is, I mean, it's a weird kingdom. It's super quick, super easy, but there are a couple of jumps where if you miss them, they're gonna actually be quite punishing. First one coming up for Tilo, he got it. Like if you fall into the water there, it's actually like a big time loss.
Yep.
Top runners will probably just reset if they fall to the water, honestly.
The Dory Moon we get in this kingdom is also on a cycle. The cycle doesn't matter as much because Dory doesn't move that much. Especially, she still moves in the line we wanna get her in anyways. But if you lose a lot of time and fall down, you might actually take an additional small hit from a bad Dory cycle.
Hmm.
It's not that much though. It's not comparable with the bird.
Yeah, there's actually like quite a bit of optimizations you can do with the fish movement. Like it's actually pretty crazy. It's also very noticeable in seaside. You kind of don't think about it when you're running, but if you actually see like a good IL of lake or seaside, you can see how like the fish is actually super important. And you need to like cut the corners really well if you want to save time.
Yeah, this Pillar Moon is a good example. You can actually shake for the fish. When you shake in the fish, he does like an attack. And you don't actually need to be on top of the pillar to trigger the moon being spawned. You can be a bit away. And this is something where you can probably save like 0.4 seconds. And that all adds up over this kingdom.
Yeah, for sure. Pretty clean boss kill by Tilo. See if Okra can do the same. Okra's kind of low on coins actually.
Yeah, he didn't
157.
grab many in the Sphinx room.
I think he can still make it, but he probably needs to not die in Lost under the bridge.
So yeah, he can make it if he fights the boss in Wooded, if he doesn't die in Lost, and if he gets some coin scraps during the run. There's also these 10 safety coins you can pick up in Snow, which don't really lose much time. They probably lose as much time as going to Seaside, but going to Seaside can be a bit weird for people.
Yeah, I still don't understand that mentality though. Like, if you don't have enough coins, just go to Seaside. Like, you're just losing a bunch of frames. Like, it's way better to just do Seaside first than just like lose 5 seconds to get coins. You know?
Yeah, for sure.
Just do Seaside first and skip the splits in live split, and that's it. Like, people just want to compete against their goals. They don't want to have to skip the
And I think
splits.
that's
So I
literally the
understand.
reason people worry so much about. But you are right, because probably sometimes people lose way more time picking up some additional coin scraps to be safe that they can go to Snow instead of just clicking the Seaside button, which loses like half a second.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. So this is gonna be the first. Actually, this is gonna be the second route difference because we already seen one in Sand. We saw the Sphinx clip less, and now we're gonna see the vanilla with the route without the nut clip. By Tilo.
So Tilo said he does not go for nut clip. I'm just assuming that means that he also is not going for rock clip, which was found a bit earlier. Pretty unlikely. He's probably just gonna do the OG wooded route where you go to the sewers early.
Yeah. So Tilo missed the rock. That actually is a very costly mistake. It doesn't look that big, but that's actually like easily 5 seconds. He lost all the speed. He has to go back to get the rock, and then he has to like touch the bunny really slowly.
Okra also had some issues with his rock there. It wasn't quite as massive. He just missed the throw, so he was backing up that pretty quickly. But he probably gained some time there on Tilo. Yeah, routing difference will start after the next wound if Okra is actually able to get the clip. Because you only get one shot at this one.
Yeah. So they're 10 seconds apart actually. So if everything goes well for them, Okra should be ahead leaving with it actually. And that's the power
I think
of
Tilo actually clipped. That almost looked like he clipped.
It did look like he clipped. That was weird. Did he do the backflip and capsule?
Maybe he just did it to try or something.
Wow.
Because I think optimally, even with the old route, it would probably be faster to clip through the wall. And then just hit the switch and save like half a second or something.
Oof. Oof, alright.
Ooh, Okra grabs the moon.
That was Monk-ass a bit. So,
yes.
I really want to point out, like you see Okra, he was out of bounds, he was trying to grab the moon, he was going really slow. Like, if you're gonna, and that's okay, it's the hardest part of the route, so I totally understand. But if you're gonna do that, you should just put the camera looking down. When you put the camera looking down, you have a lot of visual cues in the ground that tell you exactly where you are and when you have to jump. So yeah, that's my recommendation for anyone trying to learn this route. Just put the camera looking down. You can check my PB if you want to see how it looks, and it makes it like way easier.
But look at this now. So Okra already got the 2 moons basically. Tilo just picked up in the sewer section, but he's already in the maze. He's about to get the next moon in the maze, and Tilo's still climbing. He was clearly ahead after the shop moon, but now Okra's probably around 10 to maybe like 12
this is
seconds
really
ahead.
cool. It's really cool
Yeah.
because it's like watching a comparison live, you know? It's like, this is the power of the new wooded route. It actually saves like 25 seconds.
Yeah, those 2 moons that Okra grabbed, they are way further apart than the moons inside of the sewers, but the sewers are out of the way, and you need to climb up after them, which is also super hard, actually, to be optimal with.
Yeah.
So, yeah, this route is really better. Really way faster.
Yeah, and that's also the thing, like, the new wooded route, like, sure, it's really hard, but it also replaces hard parts of wooded. Like, climb and pipe waves are actually, like, pretty tough. You need to put a lot of time into those tricks. Sure, now the new wooded route uses pipe waves again. Like, instead of doing the walls, we do pipe waves. But, I mean, still, like, I don't know. It's pretty nice, honestly. You still have to put a lot of time into the new route, obviously.
Yeah, and honestly, in my opinion, climb is even harder than pipes. Like having an optimal climb. So
Yeah.
Okra's struggling quite hard with floor road skip there, and they will actually almost be tied again after this one.
Yeah, they're gonna be pretty much even after that.
And this is another instance, which is they are like tied, they're like synced here.
This is good. I like this. This is the races we wanna see.
This is another instance where we can see how much good movement can also save, actually. Obviously, good movement also comes with hard punishes. Sometimes it gets harder, the game gets harder, but when you get the movement, you're just passing your opponent.
Yeah, honestly, this game is all about movement. Like, strats are not really that important. If you learn how to move fast, you can basically apply it throughout the run, and you can save a lot of time.
Both getting the 3rd capture there, which is what we wanted to see.
Ooh.
And actually, Okra falling down there with the uproot.
So that trick is actually kind of annoying. Like, I feel you, Okra.
I remember when I learned this, you need to like go to the very edge of the platform, then extend your legs, and while your legs are extending, you need to move back and forth to make it up.
So what I did to make that consistent is I made sure I only shook once. Like, at the beginning I was trying like to shake a lot, and that would make it for some reason fail. But if you just go to the edge, shake once, and then move, it just works. I don't know. That's the way I do it anyways.
So Okra should pick up some coins here. He's definitely getting a lot of coins. Optimally, he should avoid a death in Lost, and he's going to be good to go to just go to Snow and not worry about anything. Tilo definitely has enough coins.
Nice. So I think, I think they started the kingdom 10 seconds apart, and then now they are like 7 or 8 seconds apart.
Which is interesting because Okra got the new route. His wooded overall was probably still a little bit faster than Tilo's, but at the same time, obviously losing quite heavy amounts actually on this uproot and also on floor road skip.
Yeah. Those were the big mistakes for sure.
So that's a 42 globe for Tilo. And probably like a 52 globe for Okra. It's a 50, so as you said, 8 seconds apart here.
Yep. So 2002 wooded, not too shabby. For not doing Sphinx Clip and not doing the new wooded route is pretty good actually. So Tilo, I would assume he's actually probably pretty close to his PB right now.
Oh yeah, I think so too. Not actually making many mistakes here. Like, it looked like Okra gained some time on him here. The only mistake Tilo made at the start really was the bunny and the rock that he missed. But he's playing pretty consistent so far.
Right, and we're coming to Cloud, which is, usually you don't think much about this kingdom. It's pretty simple stuff. You just practice the timing and you do it. But if you actually screw up, you can lose a lot of time. You can lose like up to 10 seconds per hat.
I was about to say that. Especially when a race is this close, it can probably easily show you how much a mistake can cost you. I mean, it might be the case that none of them actually make a mistake. Tilo going for the Bowser manipulation. But if one of them was to miss a hat here, the pace might easily change.
That was kind of weird, but I think he got it. Yeah, he got it. He got it in time. Okra also getting the manipulation, very nice. Remember, you want to make Bowser's jump the least amount possible.
Tilo not getting the one jump there on the second phase. Oh, it was the third phase already, I think.
Yeah, and neither did okra. They actually did
Yeah.
exactly the same thing.
But no. Oh, that's close. Nice
If
save
he
there
dies,
from
he
okra.
does it. Yeah, nice. All right. So Tilo gaining a few seconds there
Probably like
over
2.
okra. Yep. But this is where everything can change. Oh, actually, did they forget the moon in Wooded?
No, they both got the.
They both got
the
it. All
capture.
right.
Yeah.
I forgot completely.
No, they both got the capture. Okra struggled quite a bit after, but that had nothing to do with the
Oh,
capture.
yeah.
We talked about that weird uproot trick. But yeah,
Right.
lost. You can die on literally every moon.
Oh, yeah.
Klepto can mess with you. We haven't seen it yet in this race, but yeah, he's still around.
All right. Okra screwed up the meme tree a bit, so he had to go for the lower part of the cliff. But it's okay. That's not a really big time loss.
Yeah, the big advantage of the upper part is that you can just basically start rolling into a long jump.
Right.
When you get to the lower part, you need to do a jump and then slow down a bit.
Really clean loss so far by Tilo.
Very fast spin pound there. Also going for this dive into cap dive strat. Nice. Okra getting the double jump spin pound, which is when you immediately press the button after the spin.
Okay, okay.
Oh my god, that was close.
Ooh, alright. Disaster averted. We're fine. And that's what we mean, like, that's what we mean. Every moon, like, you know, a misstep in any of the moons can mean death in this kingdom. Which is why it's the best kingdom, obviously.
It is super cool to watch too. Tilo going for Stone Cage actually here, which is another safer strat that can actually almost tie the speed of the harder strat, but it is a lot easier to do. Playing it very safe there with the wall slide too. Yeah.
It lines up perfectly to do this. Nice. Clean stuff.
Okra goes for the Tissue Cage here. Shoutouts to my co-commentator. I mean, I don't even know who found that strat, but it's somehow just turned into the tissue.
Let's end this forever, guys. This strat is not mine. It's from Nindidi. Okay, Nindidi made that strat. I was watching his stream once. I thought, hey, that's easy and fast. I'm gonna steal it. And then people, for some reason, thought I invented that. It's not mine.
Okay, we got this out of the world, but Okra actually taking the death there, and that's usually not the biggest problem because you only lose 2 seconds, but he needs to be aware of the fact that he did lose 10 coins on this one.
Yep.
So I don't know how much he's keeping track of his coins, because that's actually the big problem with Snow and Seaset if you don't keep track of them.
Yeah, no, for sure. Again, if he doesn't have enough coins, it's just as simple as going Seaside first after Metro. You just gotta remember to press down on the menu. That's all. So it's not a big deal, but if you forget, it can be a big time loss.
Agreed. So Night Metro, a little bit of tough movement at the start that can be quite punishing, and then obviously also Mecha Wiggler.
All right, really clean stuff by Tilo. I'm impressed. This guy is good, man.
Showing some very clean movement, and in terms of strats, he's opting for some more consistent, less risky, also slower ones, which at some point he might need to change them. But currently, the stuff that he does it well.
Yeah, no, I can respect that. I'm also like that in a way, so I can definitely see like it works. Like, you know, implementing strats like slowly. Just making sure you're super confident with the stuff you're gonna go for in runs. I think it's the way to go in this game.
Yep.
I mean, I also get the other way of doing it, which is basically what you would call like the Diddy way, which is you know, learn the hardest stuff from the get go, and you know, eventually you're gonna get the God run.
Yeah.
And you're gonna have a decent time, but you know, it depends. It depends if you want to get, you know, a lot of PBs or you just want to get a big PB, I guess.
Oh wow, Tilo. Can you save that?
Right.
That's a huge mistake.
Yeah. That's what, a minute time loss? 40 seconds at least.
They are literally tied again. Actually, Okra is ahead after this one. Okra did fall at the start of Night Metro. He didn't get the jump on the awning perfectly, which would have wow. I need to focus here on Tilo. He was almost about to fall one more time.
Oh no.
This is getting sketchy.
This room is weird because you know it's not really that hard, honestly. But like when you mess it up once, when something like goes wrong, it's really hard for some reason. Like the poles mechanics, like the pole physics, are so weird sometimes. All right, he got it.
Making the
Yeah,
jump.
that jump, you know, nowadays we don't really talk about it much because we get you know we just take it for granted. But then jump is actually like one of the hardest things when you start running this game because it's basically a blind jump. The camera doesn't help you at all. It doesn't you don't know where you're going, so you need to practice the angle and you need to practice the timing without looking where you're going. So I can definitely understand the mistake.
In this room, the camera actually works against you. Because you wanna just basically cap dive straight, but the camera makes it seem so you really get held back basically by the camera to just get a straight angle. So you need to hold in a direction that doesn't really make sense. You just need to accept it basically.
Yeah, for sure. Okra having a bit of issues. Oh, he got it. All right. That was kind of sketchy, but it
Still
worked out
fast in the end,
pretty
actually.
well actually. Yeah.
And yeah, Tilo probably losing almost a minute in this city or there. Maybe not as much, maybe not as drastically, but might have come close. So I hope he gets his 3-sec here. This looks like some very good shots. Actually, very clean cycle.
Wow, that was fast. That was fast. There's an interesting way of doing Wiggler. He didn't even try to dodge the bullets. He just stood there and kept shooting.
Yeah.
And he killed the bullets. I mean, I guess that's another way of doing it. It's not the way I would recommend, but you know, definitely works out if you do it right, apparently.
And yeah, Okra probably looking at around a 20-second lead here. Pretty much exactly 20 seconds at this point. Maybe a bit less, maybe like 18, 20. But still a comfy lead going into Day Metro, which seems more friendly because there's actually light. But at the same time, there's a lot of hard tricks here. I wouldn't actually be surprised if Tilo, I mean, I don't know, but I wouldn't be surprised if he goes for Asika. Yeah, actually very clean scoot clip for Okra.
Yeah, really good scoot clip by Okra. Let's see if he gets the drum here. Nice.
Looks good.
Yep.
So let's see if Tilo goes for scoot. He does. Okay, I would have been a bit surprised because that trick isn't as hard as the roll cancel clips. I jinxed him.
Oh,
let's see how well he can back that up.
Yeah, that's a shame because usually, you know, when you bonk on the right side of the cage, you can just, you know, keep accelerating. It's just as soon as you go past it, you just, you know, move to the left to clip.
Yep.
But like it's like he didn't move. It's like it caught him off guard or something. Right, Okra actually doing all musicians route. He's tipping to the top of the level. Yeah, I think 1 month ago, this route was like kind of new, I would say, maybe.
Yep.
So maybe he just, you know, I know he was like grinding really hard. He probably just wanted to BB with the strats he knew, and he didn't implement it back then.
At this point, it's almost strange to see people still go for it because, I mean, Tilo does it here as well. Once again, he's probably that kind of runner that just sticks with his strats until he actually needs to swap them around to PB. So, as we said, definitely respectable. So both of them being on the same page, you're doing the older, a little bit slower Metro route, which it's actually just another order we get the moves and that saves a bit of time. Still the same moves.
Yeah, I mean, the new route is probably like 1.5 seconds in RTA, I would say. Yep. It's nothing big, but at the same time, it's also kind of free. Like if like runners of this level, if they put like 30 minutes into it, they can just be consistent already. So yeah, it's basically a second for free you're not using.
And yeah, pretty clean Metro day actually for Okra. Yeah.
Here we just saw what we talked about the other day, where you know Tilo went through the moon because the moon actually wasn't loaded. Even though you see it, the collision is not loaded, and that's why you want to put the camera looking at the moon before you even get there, so that doesn't happen.
His climb in general is actually very clean. He did the last backflip on top of the peak of the building basically, but yeah, you want to add that little camera optimization because if you climb too fast and the moon is not on screen, you will just fall through it basically, or like jump through it.
Yeah, other than that, pretty clean by both runners this day, Metro. I guess Good Clip was also kind of sketchy for Tilo, so he's gonna be even further behind after that Night Metro blunder.
Yeah, Okra's day Metro so far actually really good. Haven't seen any mistakes on his side and day Metro, other
Oh, there
than
we
this
go.
one that I just big a jinxed.
Man, you're jinxing left or right today.
Oh,
Let me commentate. Let me commentate.
there's a lot of other sketchy stuff still coming up, so I hope I can at least help them out with it and not jinx them. Big one, definitely Snowdram. I don't know if Tilo goes for it. It's I mean, you can't really compare it with Swing Slip. You can't just say, okay, he doesn't do Swing Slip, so he doesn't do Snowdram, because the skill set is a bit different. Like, the one has precise timing and it's a tight jump, and the other one has very quick inputs and is like a actual glitch you need to learn.
Yeah, but that's actually an interesting subject. You know, if I was a runner that didn't do Sphinx Flip and Snowdrum, now, which one would I implement first? I mean, I would probably go for Sphinx Flip because
Yeah,
it's
me
early
too.
in the run. Earlier in the run, so if you screw it up, you can just reset and you only lose 10 minutes of your life. Whereas Snowdrum, you know, you're already 35 minutes in. So it's like, yeah,
Yeah.
I don't want to deal with that, you know.
And the punishment for Snowdrum is also, in a sense, harder. You know, you fall once and you already lost a ton of time, and in Sphinx you get attempt after attempt after attempt. And if you don't
Sure.
clip at all, I mean, at some point you might need to reset, but then once again it's earlier. And then also roll cancel clipping is useful for other parts in the run, for example, rock clip and maybe even other categories. So I'd go with Sphinx clip too.
Yeah, and if you're running against, you know, your PB without Sphinx Clip, you can probably get a third try and leave
Yep.
kind of even. So yeah, it's probably the right decision. So Okra went to Snow, and he definitely doesn't have coins. Wait, he does. He has 94. He can get 6 coins without losing time. He got 2 right there, and he can get a few more in the Spinies room.
Yeah, either that if he's going for Snowdrum, or you can just pick up the stash, but probably the Spiny Room is the right choice here. Tilo is definitely good on coins. He might do the shop earlier than Okra. We don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, that's a good thing about Snowdrum. Like if he goes for the shop, we know he's not doing it. You can already tell. Right,
So
Okra
there's 3
falling
coins
there.
right there, but he doesn't need them. Unintentionally falling.
It's okay. Not a big time loss. So Okra was practicing Snowdrum before the race. I think he's gonna go for it. At the same time, if he's actually, you know, looking at the race and he knows he's ahead, he might choose to not do it. But no, he's gonna do it. He's a
He's
man.
gonna do it. And he's only 1 coin off. So the thing though is, and we've seen it in races before, we've seen actually some people have a lot of issues in the Blowy Joey, infamous Blowy Joey poison room. And if he
Oh,
was
yeah.
to take a death there, then he's probably gonna be very short on coins. The only thing he can do at this point is go back to the start of Shiveria and get that hidden coin stash that has 10 coins.
Or he can do the Wrangler room moon.
I mean, I
too.
guess, yeah.
I think that's the best solution. That loses like only 2 or 3 seconds to shop. All right, Tilo not doing Snowdrum. He went for the shop.
So Okra still needs that 1 coin. I think the Goomba room has like some coin rings too. But optimally, I mean, it's almost hard to dodge these coins that are literally on your screen right now.
He needs only 1.
Yeah.
He got it.
That's 3.
Alright, so if Okra gets Snowdrum first try, you know, potentially 10 seconds to gain over Tilo, who's not doing Snowdrum.
Yep, solidifying his lead potentially on the other side. If he misses it once, Tilo might actually be able to catch up of this one single mistake.
Yeah. I mean, high risk, high reward. That's Snowdrum for you.
Yeah, 10 seconds is a very high reward these days, actually, especially in any percent.
Yeah.
Some people would be very happy to PB by 10 seconds these days. So yeah, definitely at some point you... Oh no!
Ooh, Tilo taking the death there. That hurts. I feel you, bro. I did it twice the other day.
Yeah, this room has this insta-killing poison on the ground, which is obviously a huge punisher. If you have an issue with it.
Alright, this is the chance for Okra to pull ahead, like, even more. After that death, you know, if he just needs a good Snowdrum, then he's good. He just need to, you know, play safe for the rest of the run, basically.
Yeah, I mean, it would be nice if the run was over after snow, but sadly it is not. Even if okra makes the snowdrome here first try, there's a lot of sketchier parts coming up.
For sure.
We've talked about that okra did do a lot of the other categories recently, and the good thing is that stuff like mech and all are still in these. So he probably practiced them. He probably got to play them recently. But any percent luncheon as well, kind of sketchy.
Scary stuff for sure. Okay, so okra about to do snowdrum, Tilo doing Goomba Room.
Yeah, we should probably focus on okra first here, because this is what it comes down here. If he gets this first try, he can definitely be leaving Snow with a solid lead. If he fails it once, it's going to be a bit closer. I think with 2 fails, Tyler would already be even again. So this is how scary this trick can be. And shoutouts to okra doing this movement. We just talked about it before the race. I really like it. It's a bit safer than the spin pound version.
You know, we see okra taking his time setting it up, and you know, I can definitely respect that.
I don't think this is gonna.
Uh,
What?
Yeah, I was looking at his stream earlier, and his snowdrum looks really weird to me, but it was working for him. So you know, it's what we said the other day. Snowdrum is a very personal thing. The setup you
Yeah, I
do
know.
is yours, you know, and like it for other runners it could look very weird. Like the visual cues are all over the place, but you know, it doesn't matter as long as you got it. You got it.
I was super surprised because it looked like he didn't get a vector at all. Once
Yeah.
again, vector is like this air mechanic, but apparently he delays his inputs in a way that it works like that still.
Yeah. It's actually super interesting because when I do it, like Mario is just basically jumping to the side.
Yeah.
Like my vector is super big. So yeah, it's definitely interesting how the strat works.
But yeah, okra probably looking at around a 40-second lead or something. Couldn't exactly catch Okra's fade out on this kingdom here. They can obviously use the cutscenes coming up, so I'll be able to give you guys a rundown in a second.
All right, so Seaside, not a very hard kingdom, but it's actually pretty hard to optimize for the same reason I was talking about earlier. You know, the whole water section, you kind of dismiss it, but it's actually like you can actually save a lot of time if you do it optimally with the fish. And I think a lot of runners just, you know, don't pay attention to that stuff. Yeah.
A little bit of sketchy movement there in the pipe room, an unintentional side flip there. You wanna buffer a spin point in this room, and it's kind of awkward to do actually.
Right, I think it's like 40 seconds.
It's like exactly 40 seconds. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's literally exactly 40. Okra taking the bonk there, losing some time.
So yeah, this is Tyler's opportunity to catch up a bit, and it's a flawless Seaside.
Yeah, these bonks actually cost more than you think, especially the ones higher up, because in this case Mario falls down and you need to go back to set up your jump up again. So these bonks don't only lose you the bonk, which is like 2 seconds, but probably 2 additional seconds.
Right. Yeah, I don't think any of the runners are gonna do flower reset.
It's still pretty, I would almost say, uncommon to see, but just recently in a recent race again, it was almost, as you said earlier, this like live comparison that just showed that Equan in this case was probably able to save like 2.5 seconds with it, because it's really hard to get the optimal Gushen capture.
Right.
The trick was at the start, it was compared with the optimal Gushen capture, and
Right.
pretty much no one gets that in runs. So if you get a decent flower rocket reset, most people actually save like 2.5 or 2 seconds with that.
Yeah, that's a good point actually. And to be honest, like the strat is not even that hard. Like if you do the
Yeah.
double ground pound method, it's not really that hard. If you put time into it, you can get it down. Like anyone can. Oof.
Tilo taking a bonk on his own there.
Yeah, I don't know if the Gushen goes up there on a cycle or it depends on Mario's height. I was never able to confirm what
Might
actually
also be
makes
some
the
camera
Gushen go up.
stuff.
Maybe.
Oh yeah, that was obviously unfortunate. There for Tilo some additional time loss. Probably not actually as bad even as Okra's bonk and the side flip there. So I think Tilo's season is here a little bit cleaner still. But yeah, let's look at this fish movement, because we said can be quite costly too. Okra taking one fish bonk there, for example.
Yep. Yeah, fish bonks are like what? 0.7 maybe? 0.7 time
Yeah.
loss?
Yeah.
1 second, around that.
Basically, something around that.
Yeah, pretty clean. Pretty clean. I mean, Okra bonked once on the K, which probably cost him like 5 seconds. You know, if you're in a run on PB pace, those kind of mistakes are very tilting. Like you don't really want to lose 5 seconds in Seaside. But you know, in a race, it's fine. So Tilo going for the extra capture, is showing he's definitely not splicing.
Definitely still alive. Also taking a fish bonk at the exact same spot where Okra took one. That's actually a super common spot. Like controlling the fish in this
Yeah.
tunnel is awful.
Yeah, depth perception with the fish is really hard, and the tunnel is actually like pretty, pretty small,
Yeah,
pretty
it's
tight.
another
so
instance
it's
of
really
this like
difficult.
2.5D mechanic where the game kind of the camera forces a 2D angle, but the room is still 3D, so it's hard to
Yeah.
like actually understand what's happening.
Okay, Okra not doing salt triple. I can respect it. You know, salt triple probably says like a second or two.
Probably not even, maybe a second, but yeah.
So you know, it's definitely not a mandatory trick.
Oh, that's costly. Because actually, we haven't gotten to talk about it yet, but taking damage in this game is bad. Also, that bong, very sloppy start here. But taking damage in that game makes moons refill your health. You see it right here on your screen, and it comes with this little animation that is also another like 2 seconds. So probably mistakes around 6 seconds here at the very start.
So again, opportunity for Tilo to start coming back into the run, to race.
What?
Oof. Yeah, his angle was not good for the salt triple. He was coming from the left side. You want to go straight at the mount, basically. So yeah, he decided to just do the easy strat.
Well, it is probably possible to get like a setup. I don't know if that was like a setup from him where you come from the left and then triple jump on the peak of the mount from the left. But I've never seen that. It's actually interesting to look at. It would probably be slower, obviously, but maybe something like a personal preference thing.
The thing with that is that getting triple jumps when you're like changing the angle of Mario a lot usually results in you not getting a triple jump.
Yeah.
Basically, you can't really move a lot when you're trying to do a triple.
Yeah, there might be like a slight angle where you can make it work,
Yeah.
but maybe his angle was just off.
So yeah, Lantern, you know, a lot can happen in Lantern. Lantern, it's pretty easy to die in some of the moons. Tournament clip. I don't know if Tyler's gonna do tournament clip actually. Now I'm curious.
Yeah, me too. I think it's obviously once again not as quote unquote hard as Wingslip because Wingslip relies on some very fast inputs, but it's not easy to get a good turnip clip by no means.
Yeah, it comes down if you do the the manipulation for the bro to make it spawn later. How if you can get the throw perfectly, and then you can just clip for a stride. So it's a lot of things you gotta do right for sure. But it's still like one of the easiest like tricks, I would say. You just need to put the time to being able to break it apart and understand what makes the clip happen. And once you do that, you can react and adapt to whatever happens in the run. So
Yep. So what is interesting is that Okra's actually not made a major mistake. Like all of his strats actually worked, but he is making a lot of minor mistakes. Like for example, he missed that turnip throw there once, some bonks, some damage refills, and they add up. I mean, Tilo's. Oh no, I mean, he might have bonked there actually.
I actually didn't see, but yeah, he bonked.
That's something that I would call like a major mistake, just because the strat didn't work, but it's not a big time loss. It's a heavier mistake though.
Yeah, and you see his spin pound after the bonk. You can actually buffer the spin pound when you bonk during the bonk animation, so it's like the fastest way to recover from something like that. So it's just stuff like you don't necessarily gonna use in a run, but it's good to know for when you actually bonk. To just try to recover as fast as possible.
But yeah, both runners with some sloppiness here. Nothing big yet that sets them apart in this luncheon.
I mean, luncheon is hard, man. Like this is how luncheon goes usually. Like we're so used to watching top runners destroy this kingdom, but luncheon is this. Like it's really movement intensive kingdom that is pretty precise in a lot of places.
Yeah, and you'll probably most of the time you'll see these small mistakes like this bonk okra just had, they were falling down. This is like the luncheon we
That's
know.
it.
That turnip
Okay.
is a weird spot though.
That's a big mistake. So he overthrew the turnip. He threw it way too far, so it dropped down to that level, and that basically made it so he couldn't come down with speed. So now he's gonna do like the slow setup, which is what we used to do before.
Still was able to manipulate the brown when he was just
Yep.
actually not clipping through their first try. This should work. Yep.
Yep. Right. So Tilo not doing Banip. So I wonder if he's even doing Turnip Clip. He's not doing Turnip Clip.
Probably not at this point, because when people climb up this way,
Yep.
They won't even grab the turnip.
Yeah.
So that's
When
a
you
potential.
don't do when you don't do Turnip Clip, you climb on the left side because it's actually like lower, so it's easier to get there. It's not as tight. So he's interesting. He plays in 1.0, he does FMS, and that's it. That's the only, 1.0 trick he does.
It is the biggest time save you get, and it's not the easiest because the trick has like no consistency to it. Like it obviously has some consistency, but it's probably the easiest way to save time off of the version.
And it's at
And
the
the
beginning
rest
of the
is
run, so it's actually super smart what he's doing, because sure, FMS is not the easiest of the trick, but it's so early in the run that you can just say, you know what, this is the deal I'm gonna make with myself. I'm gonna make sure every run is first try FMS. If I don't get it first try, I reset. But then you're already 20 seconds ahead, leaving Cascade. So it definitely makes sense when you look at it that way. And then he can see when he's gonna implement the other strat. He should take his time.
Because at this point he just can do it. He doesn't need to like reset his version. He has them available to him, but he's just taking the biggest one at the moment, which is the first moon skip. And he has still a lot of like his time. If you think about if that's how he usually plays, his time is actually insane. His PB, because he can just add swing slip, he can add turnip clip, he can add snowdram. Like all of these together are already like almost 40 seconds, or like 35.
Yeah, nut clip, dude.
I mean, nut clip as well. I mean, that's something that all versions have available to them. But if he adds all of these, he can literally PB by like a minute just of getting these decently well and having the same run.
Yeah, watch out. Watch out for Tilo. He's coming. I mean, I don't know how hard he's grinding the category. Ask him after this, but he definitely has a lot of potential for sure.
Yeah, his overall movement is very clean. Okra finishing luncheon up. Tilo just about to leave the kingdom here. So still actually decently close, especially this race is not over by all means when we come up on Bowser soon here.
Oh yeah, Mech can turn this around like in the blink of an eye. It's just Okra's just falling off Mech and Tilo getting it perfectly, and suddenly we're even again. So definitely not over, not even close to being over.
Yeah, Mech probably being the biggest one. There's also another Bowser fight coming up, which it is a refight, but it has the same big issue that if you actually miss a hit, you lose a lot of time without recovery.
Yeah. And we get to ruin and we get to relax. It's a good part of the run where you can just relax, especially when you're on PvP, you're nervous. You have these 3 minutes. You can just drink some water, think about your life decisions, and kill the dragon.
That's pretty much what we do in this kingdom. We've seen runners actually not take this fight too seriously and then actually take a death there. That's actually only the only possibility how you can lose in this fight if you mess around too much. Because the kingdom kind of invites you to mess around, there's not much to do. Okra here, for example, farming cap throws, which is something you do in like the longest category. Completely not required in any percent. But you can spend your time here during these phases doing whatever you want, but if you mess around too much, you might take 1 additional damage and then suddenly it gets scary.
Wait, so in longer categories, they actually farm cap throws for the achievement, like the achievement moon in Toadette?
I mean, only in all unique moons, because that's the only category that actually needs all moons, but stuff like Darker Side doesn't get that achievement because you actually need 5,000 cap throws.
Oh, wow. Okay.
That's and by the way, 10,000 jumps. You play all unique moons for literally 8 hours, but you still need to have like a split where you farm jumps. Like 8 hours are not enough to get these achievements just off of gameplay. You need to like farm jumps and cap throws in some specific spots.
How do they do it? I'm interested. I've never seen that.
So all unique moons, there is like this outfit room in Snow. It's like a 2D section, and it has a very low ceiling. So if you go in this 2D section with Mario and Shake, you get like super quick jumps. That's how they farm jumps. And then in C-side, they use the dog that is there after the world piece is gotten again. And they kind of put the dog under one of the question mark blocks and basically trap Mario in there. And then in this spot, you can just massively spam cap throws. Like
that's actually so funny.
Yeah, it's cool.
That's crazy. And how do they know when they're done?
I mean, you can track achievements. I think the first time you visit Mushroom, you talk to that once to be able to have the screen up that shows you how much jumps you have. And then there's like an argued value. For example, most runners leave jump farm at like 7,000 jumps because that's like 7,400, I think is what it is. Because that's like the value where they know, okay, we are done with this. I can leave the rest of the jump and want to get them during the run.
Nice. All right. That was the AUM section of the run, and now we're gonna go back to
this is the ruined section of the run. Some bits of knowledge every time in this kingdom because there's not much happening.
Exactly, and now things get real again. Yeah, it's funny because this kingdom looks all serious. You know, you're fighting a dragon, and you know it's in the speedrun. It's really not a big threat.
The music also super dramatic, but yep. The speedrunners have that part down, not too intense.
Okay, so okra doing bird drum instead of Box's Moon, which is theoretically faster actually. I think.
Yeah, I mean
probably easier.
It is probably easier to be optimal with, that I can say, but they are so close that like one small movement optimization might turn it around again. So this moon and the Box's Moon, which we might see Tilo go for, are pretty much tight, I would say. And it's just personal preference. I would say this bird drum might be a bit quicker. The punishment, it's easier also to mess up though, because if you don't get the warp up back to the bird, you're pretty much stuck under the wall. And for the boxes, you can just play it safe. It's really personal preference.
All right.
We will see this difference.
Tilo is doing Box's Moon. So we see he skipped that moon entirely. He's gonna get one later. Oh, nice spin throw. I like that.
Yep. So it looks like Tilo actually caught up quite a bit. He might have caught up a bit with this movement here already, but he still needs to pick up an additional moon because we do need 8 moons when we leave this game. Even though the moon counter is gone, it will show up after the mech. Pretty safe approach here on Okra's shards.
Yeah, shards is probably, you know, the hardest part movement-wise in Bowser's, I would say. Even if you do the Box's Moon, I think doing shards optimally is harder.
Oh, for sure. The Box's Moon is scary because you need to jump like with a weird camera angle again, and you need to break the boxes and not die. But in terms of movement intensity, this is harder.
Oof, all right.
Tilo probably having a bit of a cleaner shots. Oh my god, I literally can't say stuff today. I'm actually jinxing people all over the place.
Jinx master. Pretty quick recovery though. That was actually kind of cool the way he recovered. I didn't know you could do that. I'm gonna steal that. He basically used the cannon platform to to get some height, and then he jumped straight into the roof. I didn't know that was there. That was cool.
Oh, he actually was about to buffer a dive before as he got the last shard there, and then the animation came in, so he was basically forced to dive straight into the cannonball, which means he's gonna get a damage refill here, sadly.
Alright, coming up with the mini bosses, which again, they can be quite punishing actually. Even Harriet, you know, you're really not gonna die in Harriet, but if you miss the bomb throws, you can lose like 3 to 4 seconds per bomb, per phase basically. And Topper, you know, you can actually die in Topper, and you can lose like 15 to 20 seconds if you miss the hat for sure.
Yeah, it's not even funny. Obviously, I think when people start off, Harriet might be harder, because people usually don't do the fast Topper strats when they start off. They just wait for Topper to like be in the head phase, and then they throw around Cappy, hoping to hit it. But on Harriet, there is either you lose a lot of time by default because you need to wait until the 3rd phase, or you need to learn the actual strat. So, but I think even on the highest level, Topper is more scary.
Yeah, for sure.
Because Harriet doesn't really get that hard.
Yeah, and for Harriet, there are some optimizations that people might not even know about. Where if you stand on certain spots, you can make her actually throw the bombs quicker at you. You can make her like she kind of delays her throws a bit. It depends on when you stand. It's kind of weird, but if you manipulate it right, you can make it go fast.
Yep.
Alright, so Okra pretty clean.
Looking at Okra's pace right now and that he already got this moon, he might still technically be able to get like if he plays super well, like a 105 in this run, which would obviously be
Yep.
a very respectable time. But because he already got the additional moon, he doesn't even need to go to the boxes part here.
All right. Mech is gonna be interesting.
Mech is
It,
gonna
it
be a
could
big one.
it could change everything or not. Race is definitely not over until the runners do mech. So Okra, since he did the bird moon earlier, the bird drum moon, he can do this jump with a really nice camera as you've seen right now. Whereas Tilo, he's gonna go for the boxes moon and then he's gonna have to do the jump practically blind, which is
That
pretty
jump on
scary.
Okra's screen there was actually still pretty close.
Yeah.
I'm glad that he got it.
Yeah, this pipe jump after boxes, like the boxes moon already is something that you actually gotta practice quite a bit. But the jump afterwards is also like super scary, especially because it's basically the end of the run, and if you die there is like, I don't know, 40 seconds, 30 seconds probably.
Yeah, and especially like even if you get it, you can't really catch a breather because you know Mech is already coming up immediately. And
Oh, he died. Yeah. So what happened to him is he went way too much to the left side, and he tried to fix it with the second dive. But what he should have done is he should have just tried to grab the wall. Like the actual death zone is so low in that part that if you just go for the wall after the cap bounce, you can just wall jump your way up and you save the run.
so I think another issue he had there is he actually tried to turn around his camera, and I think when you go for this, you should just be committed to blind jump, because then you can at least have a set setup. Like you know, okay, I need to hold this specific angle and I will get the jump. That's at least how I do it. I just jump blind, don't care about the camera at all. And actually Okra getting a really good mech.
Yeah, nice. So I do reset the camera after the first dive, but I do it in a way where I don't really angle Mario when I'm moving the camera. I don't know how to explain it properly, but you can definitely like move the camera in the middle of the jump. But you need to have a setup already. Like you need to know what you're doing.
Yep.
I need to practice it a lot for sure.
Ooh. Very
Nice.
interesting climb there. He actually was diving a bit too far, but he immediately jumped. He probably practiced this a lot. That's like a good sign that someone is very confident on his climbing.
Yeah, mech is something that you need to practice a lot. Like no matter who you are, no matter what category you run,
Yep.
you need to be able to do this fight with your eyes closed. Like because losing runs to this guy is devastating. Like
I mean,
when
we
it
both
happens.
speak from experience,
Oh
so
yeah, oh yeah. I've run like, I don't know, easily 10 to 15 PBs to this boss fight for sure. And here we see why. It's just mistakes are very punishing in this boss fight. Tilo falling from the mech, basically taking a 40 seconds to 1 minute time loss just for that.
So I need to call people out on this. Like I know it is a lot of people like to do it like that, but Tilo just jumping off of the mech to snipe spear there, and I don't really like that. What I do for this is like I do a backflip because I have a set visual cue when to initiate my backflip and when to turn the backflip into ground pound, and I haven't really had issues with that. And to be honest, I feel like if people start learning a fast mech at this point, learning Harriet Third is probably actually the way to go. Because it's not that much harder, especially if you do the setup where you do the quote-unquote target acquired. It's probably the same difficulty and it's faster. But I don't like this single jump into ground pound.
Yeah, no, for sure. I personally don't jump. I just crouch out of, like I just fall down
I mean, that
crouching.
works, yeah.
So you go really slow, and obviously you have to practice the timing, right? It's not gonna make it free, even if we can give you a million options and a million setups, but you still have to practice it a lot. But when you get the timing down, like crouching out of the mech is also a really consistent way of doing it. Backflip, like you said, is also very consistent. And yeah, or you can just do Harriet third. You know, you can just go for the super hard strat and just leaves fewer for last. You know, if you're a madman.
And yeah, so even though Okra is looking to close this off very confidently, there's still Bowser, there's still 2D skip, still some scary part. This run is never over until you shoot out of the wire. We've seen everything.
Oh yeah.
And I do also want to say here that actually both of these runners still look at some very solid times here. Okra probably looking, if everything goes well, at a maybe even still 105, and Tilo probably at like a higher 106. But still, this is like very respectable timings still for both.
Yeah, and this just shows like you can make a lot of mistakes and still get a good time in this game. You know, we've come a long way with this game. You know, a few months ago, a time like 105 was amazing, and today it's obviously still really good. But it just shows, you know, how optimized the run is nowadays.
Yep, you can. I mean, that's pretty much the speedrunning story. When you start, this one time seems unachievable, and then when you actually got it and got better and better, suddenly your old PB seems like the worst run ever.
Yeah. So Okra having a pretty clean moon. You know, all his movement and the moon skip was really clean. Tilo having issues with the vector, but he makes it work. You know, that's what he just did there is not even that slow. It's
No,
probably
it used
just
to
as
be
good.
actually a strat. You can just do this triple jump with another vector again that we start off with, so he doesn't actually lose that much time with that.
Yeah, ideally, you want to land in the platform where the rotating enemy is, and you just want to land and roll, not having to dive. That's the optimal strat, but what he just did there probably only loses like a second to the optimal strat. It's not a big deal.
Interesting spot he landed there on the Sphinx, and wow, that
Yeah.
cap went everywhere but not on the wall, but he still got the moon skip here.
Yep,
Just
very
fine.
clean.
Okra though, not messing around with Bowser, not missing a single phase, only one more punch to go basically, and he's
Yep.
done with this, so only escape. Escape is the only thing that's still in his way. He might
No,
actually
if
tie my PB.
Okra goes for 2 escape and dies, this could be close actually. So it's still
Yeah,
not
2D
over.
skip is still the big barrier that like every time you're on a good run. Oh man, I mean I did it all. I'm ahead like a minute. This run is really good, and there's this one jump still that can lose it all.
Yep. Oh, I know. Trust me.
I know.
You can go to my stream and press exclamation point F and watch for yourself.
Yeah, it happened to a lot of them. Like actually, pretty much all of the top runners, especially as the trick was still new, failed on it. There's a lot of ways to be more confident with it, and you barely see people still mess it up, but it can still happen. Okay, getting the
Alright,
first
here we
place
go.
is fine, and just
You got
clear
it.
that gap.
Nice. Oh, oh my god, that was weird what he just did, but he got it. He like turned around and threw a fireball.
Yeah, actually, when you do the running with Bowser, when you turn around, there's like this sound going on, and Bowser like stopping and walking on one place, which makes it a bit weird, like turning him around, especially on these jumps. So some weirdness can happen. But Okra only having to do the pillar room here, probably actually looking at like a mid 105 here.
Yep, exactly. That's what I was gonna say. Missing all the fireballs though. He missed like, I would say 4 of them.
Yeah, I think he still might have hit like 2,
Yeah.
maybe 3, but not optimally. Like optimally, you want to destroy it.
So I would guess he's gonna get a 1 of 540. That's my guess. No, actually.
Yeah, like a 38 maybe.
Yeah, I think you got it. I think it's a 38.
34
really like-
would be my PB. Maybe he ties that.
I really like guessing times in this game.
Yeah, especially when Pillar Boom comes up. But usually when this pillar falls in like 18 seconds or something, so 38 might be pretty correct here.
Tilo coming up to the skip. Oh, I think I got it.
Yeah, it's a 40.
Is it? No, wait.
Yeah, no, it's a 40.
Am I a god?
Yeah.
I'm a god, guys. It's confirmed.
It might have been a 39 of a splits, but Okra taking the win here with the 105. Let's say 39, 40, whatever.
All right.
Definitely still a very solid run with the mistakes he made there. Only like 90 seconds away from his PB. Pretty much, not even. So like 80 seconds, which is still definitely a solid
Yeah,
race.
it's for a no reset. It's like very respectable. And Tilo wrapping it up. He got to the skip pretty nicely. Actually, he didn't do it to the skip.
He didn't do it, yeah.
He didn't do the skip.
Which kind of is his story here. He just goes for the safe strats for the ones he's definitely confident on. Which once again he can just
Yeah, I actually love that. That actually is such a good thing to see, because sometimes when I see new runners for the game, like they focus too much on the cool strat. They want to learn split clip, they want to learn not clip, they want to do all the cool stuff. But if you're actually trying to get a good time, like focusing on the movement and just getting strats that are easy and consistent first is way better, in my opinion. Anyways.
I mean, it's a personal thing.
Yeah,
like, if you actually care for the time, like all you need is you want to have a lower time, then that's probably literally the way to go. That's like almost not arguable that that's the way to go. But if you think, okay, I just want to do Snowdram, I think that's such a cool trick. I want to do swing slip, I want to do glitches, I want to get the hard, I want to do the hard tricks, then maybe the other way around is the best way for you. It's personal, but Tilo definitely showing that you don't need to be playing insane, and he can still probably end here with the 107, 18, I'd say. 17, very nice.
Alright, GG's.
GG's to both of the runners here. This was our last round 1 match. Okra taking the win, joining us right here. Okra, GG's on the win. Tilo, what's up? GG's on the race.
GG, Tilo.
All right, let me get to Okra with some questions. 105.40.
Yeah.
Probably better than you expected going into this when I was talking to you earlier. Only like 8 seconds away from your PB.
Yeah,
Some
I was
mistakes,
surprised.
but still, solid time. How did you feel about this one?
So this one was interesting because I missed like all the tricks. Like I messed up FMS, I messed up Sphinx Clip, I messed up Flower Roads. Like every trick that I was like, oh yeah, this is really hard, but I have to focus on it. I messed up, but then like all the easy movement, I was not that bad. So I don't know. This is a weird run, but I'm happy I got a 105. I was surprised that that was that good for a race.
You did
got
get
Snowdram though. Yeah. You got Snowdram
Yeah,
first
Snowdram. That was the one that I had to do it. I had to like I actually like stood up and like sat back down to like you're like when you like pull on your shirt to like give yourself some air. I had to like give myself some air for that one.
You do have time there too on the warp, but yeah, definitely that one worked out.
Yeah.
And like going through this race, it was super close. It was actually back and forth. Like you came in behind going into Wooded, and then you made up some time with the new route, but then Flower Road Skip came in and you were tied again. And then Snow happened. Snow was probably the bigger decider here because Tilo unfortunately taking the death there and not going for Snowdram, which is something. Actually, I want to get to Tilo because we were pretty impressed about your playstyle. Like just you pretty much do safer strats. I mean, you should probably explain for yourself how you basically do your mindset is first game.
Okay, so I heard that conversation. All right. There's a couple of reasons. One of them is that turnip clip. I've been on PB pace like 20 seconds ahead a lot of times, and didn't PB because I lost like a minute to turnip clip. It happens all the time, so I just decided to drop it. And Sphinx Clip and all that, I don't do it because I can't. I literally just can't do it. And yeah.
I mean, it's understandable. I mean, Sphinx Clip is definitely a really hard trick. You need to put a lot of time into that trick to make it consistent. It's possible, I really think anyone can do it if you put the time, but it's definitely understandable if you don't want to do it in a run, if you don't feel comfortable. I think like 100%, you should do in a run whatever you're confident with. Like you should go for stuff where you feel super confident about it. So I definitely think you're doing this the right way. But also at the same time. At the same time, what we were saying is like it's actually really cool the position you're at because you're already doing FMS, and now you can basically pick which trick you're gonna implement next. You can pick Nut Clip, you can pick Sphinx Clip, you can pick Snowdram, and you can slowly implement them if you want to get even lower time. So yeah, good stuff.
Yeah, and 2D skip and Snowdram, those are the things I probably will never go for because those don't want to be like on a really good pace, then just die or fail Snowdram.
I respect
Like
that.
I
That's
have
relatable.
attempted both. I've never gotten them. Never.
Do this
It's
skip never? Really?
relatable.
Like
I mean, it's relatable, I think, but at the same time, once you actually need to do them, you can literally just go in. And I promise you, when you put in the practice room, you will get them. I mean, we've seen you play, and your movement is at a level where if you take as much time as you do your movement, you will get them at some point. And that was one thing that I was interested in, because 104 is like kind of a barrier. Do you actually plan to push more and like look for 103 to grind any percent more, or do you have any other plans with the game or like another game?
I will continue to grind any percent, and if I come to a time where I'm like, I can't beat this unless I get new strats or whatever, then I'll attempt to get all the other tricks.
Yeah,
But for
that's
now,
probably the
I'll
way.
try and optimize my times until I really have to.
Nice.
And to be fair here, actually, if you go back, like if you watch like a 103 from Shaden or something, Snowdram and the new Wooded Rod were not even things at this point. So, I mean, actually, he wasn't even able to do FMS because he was on 1.1.
Yeah.
It's crazy how
So
far
it is possible.
you know.
Yeah.
I'll
And
see
yeah,
if I can
Okra,
get 1-3 at least without
you
those
can
things.
you can definitely do it, man. Like, definitely, you definitely have the movement to do it.
Yeah.
Thanks.
I believe. And yeah, Okra, I know you're not liking 80% nowadays. So what's your plan?
Dude, all unique moons is the hot and darker side. Darker side is hotter than all unique moons.
Okay, I agree on that one. On that part, I agree.
I agree. I agree.
They're the hot new hotness, new categories that everyone's.
Darker side GSA tournament when?
Oh man, that would be so
Always
hype.
talked
Actually.
about it. You guys might hear something about this in the future, but I think we got a nice insight here from both of the runners. Darker side, keep your ears open. It's a big one. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for commentating with me, Tisha.
Yep.
GG's on
Always
the
a
race.
GG's everybody.
Congratulations, Okra.
Oh,
And good luck,
thanks.
brother.
Thanks, I'll need it.
Okra, yeah, exactly. This was our last round 1 race. Only round 2 matches from now on. Insane stuff on this channel coming up soon. So make sure to follow. Make sure to subscribe to this YouTube channel because all of the VODs are actually saved. If you miss anything, we will be going into a longer intermission from now on. The stream will be restarted, but there's going to be more content coming up. So stay tuned, guys, and see you on the next one.
Peace.